Hey guys, this is HuK. I said I would do a vlog, so I'm doing a vlog. The main issue I want to talk about is obviously going to be the recent PROTOSS hate, which has been, pretty rampant on SC Reddit. I know, like, a few of the top posts last night after Jadon got cannon rushed were hate threads. I think the top one was Total Biscuit saying something like, I'm going to have to cut Crank and Alicia's salary after that game, or something like that. And it was just, there was a lot of hate, a lot of upvotes, a lot of, unnecessary stuff on Reddit, and it's alarming as a player, especially as a PROTOSS player, obviously, because the community has been known to basically crucify a certain race or a certain strategy based on things that they don't necessarily know what they're talking about. I mean, I like Total Biscuit. I like him a lot as a person. He's done a lot for StarCraft 2. He's just a good guy in general. But the post he made, obviously, he's not a pro player. He basically said it jokingly, I feel, as I understood it, and then everybody just jumped on it and was like, this is a big community member making a post that's hating on a race, and we support this, and blah, blah, blah. I don't like to see that, because if there's enough hate and there's enough outcry, Blizzard will feel pressured to balance the game around that. Now, whether Blizzard actually succumbs to that pressure or not is up to Blizzard. Blizzard's generally pretty good about not succumbing to pressure from the community, so I hope they don't, but it is still alarming. So with that out of the way, just my general opinion about how people are doing this stuff, and it's really kind of uncalled for. There have been periods of time when certain races are hated on. Terran had the phase of 1-1-1 where the community kind of was just like calling, they shouldn't be winning games, they're using this cheap strategy, all this other stuff. And then there was the patch Zerg phase where it was, Broodlord Infestor, or like the mass roach strategies, which were all very strong, easily implemented, cookie cutter build orders, that kind of stuff. And I agree there should be discussion that there are certain PROTOSS strategies, and this is coming from me as a PROTOSS player. I am one of the few foreign professional players that has been as consistent, whether you like me or not. I used to be a lot better. I used to have a lot better results, but I have been consistently one of the top foreigners for a very long period of time. We've seen a lot of people retire. We've seen a lot of people come and retire. Like, Stefano was a dominant force in StarCraft 2, but he came into the scene way after I did, was dominant, and then retired. That alone testifies for how long I've been in this scene. I was back when Jonathan, aka Jinro, was a strong player. I was playing, so I know the game. I know different phases it's gone through. I know everything that has occurred. Every race has endured hate from time to time, and I have specifically not shown or supported that kind of hatred publicly, because things like what happened with Total Biscuit's comment kind of just gets upvoted, and people rally behind them, and I think it's really stupid. Privately, of course, if you lose a game, it's likely that you'll say fuck. If you're angry because you lost, you're going to be more likely to take out your anger and say something, which is fine. Privately, everybody gets upset and will make excuses to themselves or the people around them. Every race has gone through it, and it seems PROTOSS has, and I think it's possible. Like, there has definitely been PROTOSS players that have beat Terran players with strong cheesy builds. One of those strong cheesy builds is, of course, the Blink All-In PVT. It's a very strong build, and if you execute it correctly or the Terran doesn't prepare for it, it has a very strong success rate, and basically you're just going to be microing Blink, and it's going to really depend on that and like maybe 1 or 2 key time warps. And it's being balanced. The Mothership nerf, I think, is it's something I don't want to see as a PROTOSS player. I think it weakens scouting ability for PROTOSS early game, which was already one of the biggest problems for PROTOSS. But if that is what it costs for the game to be more balanced, then that's fine, and I think it's necessary, and I think it'll help Terrans defend against Bleak Islands a lot, actually. People don't really remember different stuff. Terran players right now are complaining a lot about how it's not the fact that they can't hold builds, it's they don't know which one is coming, and they don't know how to reliably scout what is coming, whether it be, like Proxy Oracle, or, some kind of Gateway All-In, or Mortal All-In, or Blink All-In, or many different possibilities. But people have short memories. Before the Mothership, PROTOSS couldn't scout early game for a very long period of time. We didn't have Reapers, we didn't have Scan, We literally relied on either a Stargate unit or an observer to scout, and we didn't know what Terran was doing, whether it be 111, 2-3 barrack all in. And this was before the mothership core, so there was no photon overcharge. All these different things. And I've been there. I've done that. I've played against players, and when you don't know what's happening, you feel it's frustrating because you lose and you don't feel like you lost because the other person was a better player. You lost because you didn't know what was happening. There are instances where I could see this being a problem. The mothership nerf will help this, obviously. It'll help PROTOSS not be able to scout, have to play safer. It'll help with the blink all in. You're not going to know what you're blinking into. So when you're PROTOSS and you blink up into a Terran base, you don't necessarily know if they have 2 Marauders and 8 Marines versus your 6 Stalkers that are blinking up, because that mothership does not have that range to see. But I just wish everybody would be more calm when it comes to this stuff and not, jump on the bandwagon of hating protests. There's a lot of different things that happened. Recently I saw a game, Life in Pro League or GSL, and it was on Heavy Rain. I don't know if those people that have seen this build, but he played against a PROTOSS and he did a 6-8 Zergling bus, and he pulled drones, and the PROTOSS was very well prepared. The PROTOSS scouted the Zerglings, scouted the drones coming, had a probe there, built a perfect wall, had a cannon behind it, and then still lost from the drone drill. This is just StarCraft. This is how it works. Could the PROTOSS cry and say, how do I defend this? I played perfectly, I played defensively, I had a probe there, I saw it coming, I built a wall, I rebuilt my wall, I chrono boosted out a Zealot, and I still lost. Of course, everybody can cry about this or that. The point is, he lost. That's what comes with StarCraft. He did a build, Life countered it, he took a risk, he all-in, and he lost. That's just what happens. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, and I hope you guys can at least, even if you don't like me or you don't, respect me as a player, I have been around. I've been around for a long time. I've seen a lot of different eras of StarCraft 2. The game is better than what it has ever been as far as strategy and skill and whatever. At least respect my opinion to a certain degree. And now I'm going to move on to the actual real issue here, which is, of course, the infamous game Jaedong versus HuK Game 3. I'm going to put in some backstory here. HuK, a PROTOSS Taiwanese player, or Chinese player, I'm not sure which, but he's played in the TSL, which if you guys don't know is a league that is ran in Taiwan. TESL, it's like GSL kind of, but I mean obviously it's Taiwanese players mostly and not Korean players. Anyways, foreign players, whether they be Korean or white people or Suppy went there, anybody can go and play. So True, the Korean Zerg, has gone and played, and he played against HuK, and HuK did this infamous cannon rush against True, as a Korean Zerg player. HuK is also known just to be a cannon rusher in general. Before Jaedong played, he talked to Suppy, and Suppy messaged him and said, HuK has been known to cannon. He's been known to cannon rush. If Jaedong did his homework and looked up the replays from TSL, or saw the VODs or whatever, he would see that as well. Even the specific build that was done. That being said, he played against HuK, and he won a game actually on Alter Zim where HuK cannon rushed him. And Jaedong went 3 hatch or something, which is a normal strategy on Alter Zim because it's a huge map and cannon rush isn't very likely, and if it gets scouted you're going to be way behind as PROTOSS obviously. But he did get cannon rush and then he won that game. So with all these contributing factors, not even going into the specific game, Jaedong lost basically to this cannon rush when he shouldn't have. Knowing all these things as a professional player, he was not prepared as well as he should have been. Let's go to the actual game. He made 6 pylons. 6. And then also built cannons, which are 150 minerals, on top of that. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time when you could build 2 bunkers to block a ramp. Completely. 2 100 mineral structures that could be salvaged and repaired and have Marines put in them where you could block a ramp and basically bunker rush a Zerg's natural. So we're talking, does that not just already seem a little bizarre to you? 6 pylons, which are basically 2 pixel by 2 pixel buildings, compared to a bunker, which I think is 3 by 2, and it can block a whole ramp. So there's little to no surface area, and you can put marines in it, and you can repair it, and it only costs 200 minerals to do that. And then it was still Emba when, well, some people consider it Emba when you could block it with 3 bunkers, and then they added rocks, so you can't do that. And now we're at 6 pylons. You guys are still complaining that it's Emba because he made a giant wall of China, because it's Haas and he's from China, and then cannon rushed. That's not Emba. That is not Emba. Jaedong knows he's a cannon rusher, scouts him with his overlord, he has his overlord at his natural, sees a pylon, sees a forge, sees no nexus, and as a professional player, he looks at the clock and he sees there should be a nexus by now, because it was like 30 seconds after a nexus should have been up and there's still nothing there, and he doesn't pull a drone. Okay, he doesn't pull a drone at all. And this is a map that is like, it's common to cannon rush behind the mineral line on top of this. So Jaedong doesn't do anything. All these red signals that he should do something, and then puts down 6 pylons, and then on top of that puts down cannons. He made like a gateway, and then it was successful to kill a 300 mineral hatchery after investing I don't know how much money, including the probic, like probably over 1,000 minerals. And Jaedong could have like canceled his hatchery. He could have built spines instead of zerglings, which were going to do nothing. And this is all separate from the fact that he didn't do anything while it was happening. But after the fact that it happened, he responded poorly on top of that. I just don't know what to say. I don't know an intelligent professional player that would, or like caster or observer. I don't know how people can call this Emba and complain about PROTOSS. It's just not. He went like his build was pretty bad IMO. It didn't make sense. He probably could have done it a lot better. The 6 pylon wall didn't really make sense to me. I felt like it was extremely risky. Like, who has time to put down 6 pylons without it being blocked by a drone in the first place? It didn't make sense to me. It worked, and I don't think it will ever work again in the future of StarCraft 2. If it does, then I would be likely to call the person that gets 6 pylon rushed into cannon in that exact situation. I don't know. But it's not Emba. I don't know how people are calling it Emba. I don't know how people take that game and then complain about PROTOSS, and then it gets, people support that. Like, yeah, good job. This is such bullshit. PROTOSS needs to be changed. Like, no. I just don't get it. We went from 2 bunker rushing a ramp to 6 pylon, and it's still Emba, and people are still complaining. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, it was a cheesy build. Jaedong wasn't prepared. He lost. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. Another issue I want to touch on real quick, just at the end of this video, is WCS America, as far as I heard and understand it and have seen in the past, is right now being forced to play on an NA server. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if they have other reasons, and if they do, NASL or WCS admins want to speak up. It shouldn't be played on NA server. If it's 2 Koreans or a Korean and a Chinese player or whatever, they both want to play on Korea server, let them play on Korea server. There'll be better games. The fans will enjoy it more. It just, come on. It doesn't make sense to me. If they have a reason, then okay, let me know and we'll see. And if it's a good reason, then I'll shut up. But obviously, if it's an American playing a Korean or a Chinese player and it's online, NA server, easy peasy, it's done. Like, but if it's 2 Koreans, it's degrading the quality of the game. I know if I had to play cross server for WCS, I'd be very tilted and I would be very against it and I would fight it. But Korean players and Chinese players won't do that. So I'm just going to bring that topic up now, and hopefully someone can get back to me or there can be some changes, because that should be definitely implemented. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm obviously a PROTOSS player, and I know I'm biased sometimes, and I'll have biased opinions. Everybody will. You guys need to rocks, because that's doesn't make sense. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and hopefully I'll be doing them more regularly in the future. So a lot of things I want to talk about in the future too. So check out my stream and follow me on Twitter. I'll try to reply to messages if I can there. Alright, thanks, bye.